Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Eclectic Knitter Podcast. That's what this is. It is Tuesday, October 10th at about 1:48 in the afternoon. That's Mountain Standard Time. Gotta make sure the nose stud is in so it doesn't fall out. It's been a long week. I'm so tired. But we'll do knitting, finished objects, whips, spinning whips, and then some other stuff. Like I went to see my parents and stuff for the weekend, and I'll talk about that a little bit. So, finished objects. I have one finished object. I finished my Peace and Love socks. I don't think I showed these. I think I showed them, but I hadn't finished them yet. So they are done with heels and everything. This is Peace and Love by Vesper Glitterful Sock. I bought this last year. This is one of my pairs of Christmas socks because that's still a thing. So yeah, those are done. Yay! I have a hoe. This is a tube sock for my niece. This is out of Vesper 75-25 superwash merino nylon thick sock in the frost colorway. I did a pair of socks for myself out of this. I could wear these. I did 56 stitches and I did it on, I think 2.5 millimeter needles, the same socks I knit the actual socks out of, and they are feeling very large. I don't think they will fit my niece for a while, but they're ribbed, so maybe they will. I don't know, I'm still going to finish them and give them to her. I'm starting every time I finish a skein of, or a pair of socks, I weigh the skein and then I split it off into two little balls. Because tube socks for Abby. That's my hoe. I have not cast on the second one yet. So I guess we're in whips already. We're just in whips. It just kind of all goes together. I brought a sock blank to Winnipeg this weekend. This is a Gale's Art sock blank. It's a single stranded. This was the Hawaii colorway. This was part of her club this summer. So I finished one full sock. I obviously have not woven in my ends yet. I hadn't brought a darning needle with me. And I am working on the heel of the second as I rip out a bunch of stitches. I'm awesome. So yeah, I'm working on the second sock, working on the heel for the second sock. So those might be done pretty soon. I love sock blanks. My mom and my sister-in-law thought it was the weirdest thing that I was unraveling something to knit it into something else. Didn't care. They can not get it if they want to not get it. It just doesn't bother me. And then the next thing that I'm working on, this is my Leaves of Grass shawl. I'm knitting this out of Woolmiza lace garn. So I am done the first chart, and I have done almost one full repeat of the second chart. This is not the middle that I had last time. I couldn't figure out where I was in the chart after I recorded last. So I ripped it out and started again. Then I got done the first section and I completely missed the instructions for the increase row after you finish chart A. So then I did an entire repeat of chart B. And they kept saying, I kept reading, you should have X number of stitches on your needles after chart B. And I remember looking at chart B going, every increase in chart B has an opposing decrease. Where am I getting those double stitches from? Like, how am I doubling my stitch count when the entire chart, if it has an increase, it has an opposing decrease? Where is this coming from? I must have looked at that and thought about that and double checked that like 5 times. And then I finally saw it's above a picture on the next column after it gives you the chart A instructions. And it's up on top of the picture, and I didn't check there because it's just a picture. So then I had to rip that back and figure out where I was and then do the increase rounds and then start chart B. So I'm almost done my first repeat of chart B. This is ideally for my mom for her birthday, which is December 1st. So yeah, that's that. So I feel like I've knit up until here like twice already, which I kind of have. But it will go fine from now on, as long as I remember to read. So that's that. That's coming along. And then I put a couple rows on my Aquanae scarf. This is a pattern by Carrie Robb. It was in a Brooklyn tweed. I am doing this out of Beaver Slide Dry Goods Merino Mohair 8010, their worsted weight, in Mountain Midnight. I may need to buy another skein. So I have 3 full skeins, and then I used the leftovers from the mitts that I knit, which is why that stitch marker is there, the unicorn at the bottom. That's how much I got done out of about maybe a quarter of a skein. And so this is where I added in a full skein. And then this stitch marker indicates where I was last time I showed this. So did a couple rows. And now I will move my stitch marker. This is a stitch marker from Truffle Shuffle. It's a teeny tiny whale. Teeny tiny. You have to use that voice when you say teeny tiny too. Whew, teeny tiny too. Alright, so that is that. This is in a Silvershed USA bag that I bought from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and I think I've talked about this before. It's got quilt batting or something in it, and I don't like it. I don't like the quilt batting. It's too poofy. It makes the bag feel too poofy. But I like the fabric on the outside, and that's why I bought it. It's this, yeah. So that's that. And then I put some work into my granny square blanket this weekend because this is the other project I brought. I did not knit any more centers. I got a mini skein with the Knox Yarns order. That's going to go into my blanket for a middle. Okay. So this is, I still haven't woven in ends, as you can tell. Oh. There it is. Ooh, crochet hook. Oh, because I was in the middle of crocheting something on here. Alright, that's important to keep on. Okay. So, this is kind of the back of it, so I haven't woven in my ends. I have made this 10 wide right now, and then I started doing the 4th row. So I attached these ones on the side, and this red one here, and this stripy one here, and then these two, and I have started doing this one, but I did not finish. This is going to be awesome when it's done, and I better start weaving in those ends, otherwise it's never going to get done. That's all my whips. That was fast. I'm apparently in a hurry. Well, I have a call with a client in an hour or so sometime. I have things to do. Like, figure out why the dog was laying by the front door. Because he peed while we were outside. Anyway, he was at boarding all weekend, so he's probably dead tired. So, my weekend was good. The bag of, the paper bag right there, I went to a local yarn store in Winnipeg called Woolsey Wool, and I bought stuff. They have wool miza now, which they've never had before. Every time I go there, which granted is only maybe twice a year or once a year, they always have different suppliers or yarn dyers. Like, I remember buying my first skein of Sweet Georgia there, like back in probably 7 years ago. Now they have some hedgehog, but they're almost out. They don't have Madeline Tosh anymore. They still have my computer, my C drive ran out of space, so it cut me off. So I have deleted things, and I now have some more room. Anyway, Woolsey Wool. I only go there once in a while. So they still had Malabrigo. They had Woolmiza now. I don't know if they'll continue to get it. They had some hedgehog fibers left over. They still had some ancient arts, which I bought some. And then they had Malabrigo. And then they had like Classic Elite and Misty Alpaca. A company that specializes in alpaca or does mostly alpaca. And then Cascade. And they have some Rowan. And they have Barocco sock, I think. They have some Barocco, I think. Was it Barocco sock? I don't remember. They had some Opal, which is good. And then for yarns, they carry Chiagoo and Knitter's Pride. So that was fun. I went with my mom, and I spent too much money, but I didn't bring the bag over here. So, and then my sister-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law have been married for 5 years. My niece was born October 3rd, was her 3rd birthday. And so we went to her birthday party on Saturday, the 7th. And my sister-in-law has been pregnant again, and she was due to have a scheduled C-section on October 24th. And Sunday morning at 2:30 in the morning, her water broke. So she had a C-section Sunday morning, and at 10:52, my new nephew was born. His name is Ezekiel. He was 15 days early and still was 10 pounds, 8 ounces. Now, because he was early and because he was big, he was having trouble regulating his blood sugar, so they had him on IV, and he was in the NICU. So I didn't get to see him this week because they can only have 6 visitors total that are allowed to, that I have permission to go in and see him, and they have to be with either Darnell or my sister-in-law. So we went into Winnipeg again on Sunday which was supposed to be a quiet day, but ended up not, which is fine. Stuff happens, right? And they loved the bounce blanket, and they loved all the baby clothes I got for him, which was Sarah, my sister-in-law said, she's like, I'm so glad you've done, like before, like when I gave them to her Friday, we had our Thanksgiving supper on Friday, and they came out to my parents, because my parents live an hour south of Winnipeg. And she's like, I'm so glad you have this. We don't have any clothes for him except what you've given us. So, and then he was born, so it's a good thing. Because I had given him some more 3 to 6 month onesies, and those may not fit for very long because he's big. And my niece was big too, but she was 2 weeks overdue, and she was almost 11 pounds. So yeah, it was a busy weekend. I got home later on yesterday, went and ran some errands today, picked up the dog from boarding / daycare, had lunch by myself at Denny's, which was fun. I love breakfast, so I had breakfast for lunch. Now I'm recording, and then I have a call with a client this afternoon, and then I'm doing nothing the rest of the day, which is awesome. Oh, I have still been spinning. I'm still spinning on the Hello Yarns Breathless Air Rambouillet. I started the last third, but it's still on the wheel. So, yeah. I hope you guys have had a good day or a good week or so. If you are in Canada, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. If you're in the States, I hope you had a good Columbus Day. I will talk to you in about a week or so, a little bit less. I'm hoping to record next weekend, but it kind of depends on how much I get done between now and then. I'm back to work tomorrow, but only for 2 days, so we'll see. All right, talk to you later. Bye.